雷の呼吸石の型霹靂一閃遠足
You know, when I first watched Demon Slayer, I was so intrigued by how they took a simple idea like breathing and transformed it into a system of power that gives you superhuman abilities when you master a certain breathing style. And it made me think, can we fine-tune our breathings to be able to do the same stuff that was shown in Demon Slayer?
雷の呼吸石の型霹靂一閃6連
Well, the short answer is no. But the long answer is yes. Well, kind of. So even if we aren't able to cut through boulders or slice off demons' heads, there's a lot of other ways where breathing can help us, like increasing our focus when we have to study for that one exam, or to help us relax and reduce brain fog. And there's even a breathing technique where when we're sick, if we do this certain breathing technique, our bodies will be able to recover quickly. In this video, I'll be talking about how we can achieve total concentration by breathing in our own way and the importance of breathing itself. First, I want to talk about the difference between breathing through your nose and breathing through your mouth. Science has shown us that breathing through our nose is a much more efficient way for our health than mouth breathing, and here's why. When you breathe through your nose, oxygen is going through quite a lot of passages before it can reach the throat and into our lungs, whereas the mouth, we don't see that. Breathing through your nose allows air to be humidified, pressurized, and filterized so you can use that oxygen more efficiently. Sure, we can breathe through our mouths, but we should not be breathing through our mouths throughout the day because breathing through our mouths can cause us to have a higher chance of getting sick by breathing in bacteria through our mouths. And I know those of you who are habitual mouth breathers like me are going to have a tough time trying to breathe through your nose. For some time in the past, I used to have the trouble of waking up with my mouth dry or constantly waking up throughout the night to get a sip of water because I could not deal with the dryness in my throat till I researched ways for me to stop having my mouth open throughout the night. And one of the solutions I found was to place tape over my mouth before I go to sleep to help better focus breathing through my nose. Yes, I know this sounds a little crazy, but after a month and a half of doing this, I noticed that my mouth wasn't dry when I woke up and I was actually having a better quality of sleep. And this is because the nose is designed to avoid dehydration of the lungs by humidifying incoming air. For those of you who want to try this, I don't recommend using something like a duct tape to tape your mouth, but I do know there are products out there that have something like a specially designed tape specifically for your mouth that you guys can find somewhere on the internet. Regardless, it is very important to breathe through your nose whether you're awake or asleep. A book called Breathe by James Nestor found that by breathing through your nose, you're actually breathing in 20% more oxygen through your nose than your mouth. And this is because when we nasal breathe, we create 6 times more nitric oxide in our bodies. And nitric oxide gas increases blood circulation throughout the body and relaxes the smooth muscles, which allows the body to function at its maximum efficiency. And here's an interesting way to get more nitric oxide in your body. To create more nitric oxide in your body, all you have to do is hum. For at least 5 minutes a day. And you can hum the Demon Slayer opening. Okay, that wasn't that great. Humming itself is very powerful to evoke nitric oxide in our body. Also, I want to give a quick warning. If you have some sort of breathing problem that prevents you from breathing through your nose, please go see a doctor first and get their opinion before trying any of this. Another interesting thing, if we breathe through our nose often, is that we can prevent brain fog from occurring. If you ever felt brain fog before, it feels like someone farted on your brain. It mainly causes you to feel like you can't focus and makes you feel tired. And one of the ways to prevent brain fog from occurring is just by making nasal breathing a habit. I kind of wish in Demon Slayer they would emphasize more on breathing through the nose in their technique rather than the mouth, but I'm just saying that since I like to view things scientifically sometimes. Okay, now I want to share a breathing technique that can help make a positive change in your life, just like how it did for mine. The breathing technique that really helped me in my life is called Wim Hof breathing, or also called Tumo breathing. Wim Hof breathing became popularized by Wim Hof himself, who is known as the Iceman, who broke a number of records, including climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in his shorts, running a half marathon above the Arctic Circle barefooted, and standing in a container while covered with ice cubes for more than 112 minutes. So basically this breathing technique goes something like this, and you'll probably feel lightheaded the first time you do this, so keep that in mind. First, you get in a comfortable position, either sitting or laying down, then take 30 cyclic breaths, meaning you breathe in through the nose deeply and exhale through the mouth. and that is 1 cycle. And you do this 30 times. After the 30th breath, you exhale the air from your lungs completely and hold your breath for a minute. And that minute holding your breath without taking air is really tough. I would recommend trying 30 seconds of holding your breath, then gradually increase to a minute. But after a minute of holding your breath, you take a big inhale through the nose again and hold that breath for 15 seconds. Then after 15 seconds, you can exhale that air and return to your normal breathing pattern. Wim Hof says to do this for 3 rounds to get the full benefits, and he actually has a guided video technique on his YouTube channel, which I'll leave the link in the description below. And I do want to repeat a warning that if you have asthma or some sort of breathing condition, the Wim Hof breathing technique might be too much for you, and you should probably go see a doctor first to get their opinion before attempting this. Regardless, there are numerous benefits that has been spoken about the Wim Hof breathing technique. The 2 I want to focus on are how the Wim Hof breathing helps us to focus, like when we're studying for an exam, and how it helps us to fight off infections and recover from some sort of common cold a lot faster. So the first one is focus. If you're like me and there are moments in your life where you have to study for an upcoming exam, or you want to read a book but have such a hard time focusing, and you end up doing something more pleasurable like playing video games or watching anime, then the Wim Hof breathing can help you. So this is what you're going to do before you start your next study session. You want to do the Wim Hof breathing. You can watch the Wim Hof guided breathing videos on YouTube, and after you follow and complete the video, then you can try to start that study session, and you'll notice that your focus is a lot more narrowed to do the thing that's in front of you. And the reason behind this is because the Wim Hof breathing evokes adrenaline or epinephrine, and adrenaline or epinephrine, which mean the same thing, is known as the effort molecule. Epinephrine helps in our ability to pay attention, to focus, helps our metabolism, it improves our breathing, it stimulates the heart, which raises blood pressure, and overall gives us a burst of energy. And it's kind of amazing how we can force activation of adrenaline or epinephrine just by this breathing technique alone. Since when most people hear adrenaline, they think of fight or flight, which is true, and they also think the only way to activate it is by being chased by a bear or having a guy chase you with a chainsaw, which are ways to evoke adrenaline, but not the only way. And you'll notice that when you're in situations where you're running from death, you'll suddenly have so much energy, even though a minute before that situation, you were probably sitting down and you were feeling like you have no energy at all, to suddenly having a ton of energy. So that is the power of adrenaline/epinephrine. Now, the second way this breathing technique helps us is that it can help us fight off infections in our body, like a common cold. So the Wim Hof breathing creates a good kind of stress for your body. And when your body is stressed, it is recruiting something called killer T cells. These killer T cells kills bacteria and viruses within our body. And Wim Hof breathing is known to stimulate the adrenal release. One study, and this is a very interesting study which was done, brought 2 groups of people, and both of these groups were injected with E. coli. And those who don't know what E. coli does to our body, it causes us to have stomach cramps, vomit, and have diarrhea, which are all very painful. And we hear a lot about E. coli outbreaks, especially in lettuce. Anyways, both of these groups were injected with E. coli, and one group was told to perform the Wim Hof breathing, while the other group was told to just meditate. And what they found was the group who did the Wim Hof breathing either didn't respond to E. coli that they were injected with, or felt some sort of effects of the E. coli, but it did not affect them very much. Whereas the group who only meditated got a fever and diarrhea and vomited. And to repeat, the reason why the Wim Hof breathing works is because that breathing stimulates a stress response. It stimulates cortisol and adrenaline, which signals the thymus, the spleen, and the other glands in our immune system to release killer T cells to fight off this infection, which is E. coli in this case. And this reminds me of that one scene in Demon Slayer where Zainsu was fighting that spider boy demon, and he got poisoned by that spider demon. And when the poison was spreading to the point where it was about to kill him, he fine-tuned his breathing to slow down the flow of the poison, which I thought was pretty cool. So this is a breathing technique you guys can try if you're able to do it. And overall, it makes me think that breathing is probably one of the most underrated things that we overlook in the human body. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this kind of video where I combine anime with science, please consider subscribing. And I hope you guys found some valuable insight from this video to help improve your life in some way. Also, consider hitting that like button and leave a comment below, since I will most likely read it. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and keep a lookout for my next video.